is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. We asked for signs, the signs were sent. The birth betrayed, the marriage spent. Yeah, the widowhood of every government. Signs for all to see. I can't run no more with that lawless crowd, while the killers in high places say their prayers out loud. But they've summoned up a thundercloud. They're gonna hear from me. That still could ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. You can add up the parts, you won't have the sum. You can strike up the march, there is no drum. Every heart.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so wonderful to see so many of you tonight. My name is Melissa. I am the Arts, Culture, and Ritual Organizer at Jewish Voice for Peace, and I'm so happy to be here. We have a really full, fantastic program for you tonight, and I'm just going to say that besides being a performer myself, I'm a theater maker. I'm really happy to bring these people who have so much to say about abolition. When we say abolition, we're thinking about, in Ruth Wilson Gilmore's words, a society that lifts up life-affirming institutions. So that means, also in her words, there's only one thing we have to do to achieve abolition. And that one thing we have to do is change everything. So we have to change everything that destroys, everything that denigrates and violates human rights, which means dismantling the prison industrial complex. It means dismantling racism and Zionism. So on the second night of Hanukkah, welcome here. I believe that the arts is one of the best ways to do all those things. A little bit of housekeeping. We're gonna stay muted. There is closed captioning if that would be helpful to you. On the bottom of your screen, you can click on it. We have a very wonderful live captioner. Esther Mack is working with us tonight, and so please do use that tool. I recommend that we don't use the chat during the performances and wait till afterwards. But you know, if you get really excited, you might have to say something. We will have a chance in between for you to chat and let people know how much you appreciate their work. And we ask that there is permission to record. If you do not want to be recorded, because we will be going gallery view in between each performance, just take yourself off the screen, no problem. In the top right corner of your screen, you might see something that just says view. And if you click on that view, it'll say speaker view or gallery view. Right now you should be on speaker view. And if you click on gallery view, you'll see all of us. So that's in the right upper hand corner of your screen. I hope you have your candles and your menorah ready. If you don't, go grab them. And while you're doing that, I would like to acknowledge that we are on Turtle Island. We're in many, many places here. Some of us are in, like I am in Wampanoag land. Some people, you can put in the chat if you know the name of the land that you are on, the native name. And we acknowledge that this land we're on stolen land that was built with stolen hands. And we look for ways to reconcile that and to come into right relationship. Okay, so the first person that I am going to present is Allie Ross. And she is a Boston-based dancer and teacher. And her work is especially relates to bringing women's stories to surface and with a lens of equity and solidarity. And she is going to light the candles and say a prayer. And you're going on speaker view.
Good evening. So let's light together. Nevarech et ayin hachayim lahadlik ner shel tzedek. Tzedek, tzedek, v'shek hachala We bless the source of life. We make sacred these flames for justice, and our capacity to practice the world we vision into being.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Allie. And for those of you that don't know this tradition, we always like this one right in the middle. And then we light the other candles, but This one, I think of all of us. We're the igniters. So our first performer is Sarah Abu Rashid. And Sarah is a 21-year-old Arab American poet and speaker, a Palestinian, originally from Haifa. She lived in Syria and now resides in Ohio. Sarah's one-woman show, A Map of Myself, and her poetry are rooted in explorations of history, exile, war, language, personal and collective memory and identity. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Melissa, and thank you everyone for having me. It's truly an honor as a Palestinian and as a Muslim to join you in this sacred day. And abolition to me means being community-centered, being humanity-centered instead of system-centered. So it's an honor to read to you my poems. And my first one tonight is titled, The Story Begins. The story begins centuries before 1948, when we were just a simple people in their simple part of the earth. The story begins in the years leading to 1948, when some thought us non-existent, others that they could make us so. The story begins in 1948. The story begins after 1948, when refugee camps turned permanent homes. The story begins when many of us were born in exile and only to the memories of a land. The story begins when we had to leave again. The story begins when we mastered languages foreign to our tongues, choked on our own letters. The story begins when we hoped we could begin once more, when we lived and loved and lost, when we built and birthed and fought. The story begins and it does not end. We are young, hungry, and very much alive. My second poem is titled History Says, and it's prompted by a quote from poet Solmaz Sharif. Solmaz says, "History says we forgave the executioner." So here's what I had to say. History doesn't say anyone is forgiven. It only says too late. History says we won then, but we're sorry. History says, we don't ask you to accept our apologies. You have no choice. History says, we wrote everything you think you know. History says, because we thought you died. History says, and only we lived. History says, but we're good people now. History says, trust us. History says, who's here telling your story? History says, fuck you, that's not how it went. History says, no cursing, what a waste of our genes. History says, no, we're saving you from hell. History says, it's admirable you've made it this far. History says, would you speak about that on our panel? History says, you shouldn't be so mad as to refuse amends. History says, sure, the last of you may breathe quietly. History says, you cannot rewrite us. History says, try. And my last poem for now is, forgive me, I yearn to call my country. I have tried to keep the name you gave yourself on my land a secret. I held it in, a fishbone in my throat, better candy impolite to spit out, in some places, a crime. 3 generations later, it should not surprise you how heavy the bite, how weak the tongue. We carried it a shackle in our mouths to every refugee camp, and my grandmother begged us to keep quiet. She fears for our safety, even away for all the ways a life may be severed at a word. So long I have tried to keep it in my mind, on my pages, a wound only I find fresh and salty on a miniature globe, a burn on the darkest crease of my body. Forgive me, but I yearn to call my country by its Arabic name, Palestine by its language and mine. So be it me who bleeds, who chews on the words no longer. Sir, what you imagine is real isn't real, isn't Israel. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Let's give it up for Sarah. That was amazing. So beautiful. And we're very fortunate because we're going to hear from Sarah again later on in the program. But now I want to introduce to you a very dear friend and amazing performer, Kayhan Irani. She is a writer, performer, and a cultural activist. She actually uses artivist, which I copy. She creates art to build community spaces for healing and to mobilize audiences to effect change. For the past 20 years, she has been using theater and story-based strategies for community organizing, engagement, and education. Kayhan has trained thousands of people in theater of the oppressed and participatory storytelling tools over the years, both nationally and overseas in Afghanistan, India, and Iraq. Kayhan.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you, everyone, for the invitation. And thank you, Sarah, for that beautiful poetry. I'm here because as a person with a heritage of dispossession and from a people with a history of dispossession, I need to mend the memories and the longings of everything I've lost and all the people I've lost in order to truly be joyful in my fight for abolition. And I want to do that together with others. So that's why I'm here. And I'm very pleased and honored, deeply honored, to share an excerpt of my performance, There is a Portal.
I can speak Spanish better than any of my ancestral languages. I studied it from middle school until college. I was good at it, and I liked it. Knowing Spanish made me feel more American. Also, somewhere in my elementary school years, I asked my mother to stop speaking to me in Gujarati. I can't understand what you're saying to me. My Gujarati was frozen at a 4-year-old's level, and it frustrated me. Besides, in this new place, it was clear that my language had no value, my people no history, nor ways worth knowing. My mother tongue marked me as invalid. So naturally, I blamed my mother. I blamed her language for making me feel less than. Can you please just speak to me in English? Before I had a chance to even think about what I was saying, the words were already out of my mouth. My mother silently swallowed the air between us, and finished her sentence in English. Americans can go on for hours about learning a new language, about all the words that they're using and all the new sounds that they're learning and all the quirky, charming differences that they're navigating. Americans love to talk about their remarkable efforts to learn another language. No one in America speaks about what it's like to lose a language. If you gathered Native Americans and immigrants, children of immigrants and African Americans, I wonder what they would say about what it's like to lose a language. I say, it's like watching a large ship sail away from you. As it drifts towards the horizon, part of the hull is submerged, but everything else is visible. It's clearly a ship. But after some time, you realize the entire bottom half is gone. Everything under the bow has disappeared. You can still see the masts and the sails. The tall wooden poles and wide triangular fabrics are undeniable symbols that a ship is out there. But soon the masts get eaten up. And now the sails are the same size and shape as the white foam cresting on the waves in the distance. And there you are, staring at the ocean, lulled by the waves, having forgotten why you came out to the shore in the first place. Though I hated myself for asking my mother to stop speaking to me in Gujarati, I resigned myself to the distance. Some years later, she comes home, brimming with happiness. She's got something special for me and she wants me to see it. My John, look, your new Social Security card. And see, I fixed your name, Kehan N. Irani. She beamed. What have I done? What have I done to her? I was ashamed at my desire to fit in so badly. Ashamed that she would come home happy to show me that she cut off half the name she'd given me. My name is Kehan Docht, daughter of the universe. Docht, Dochtar, daughter of. I was no longer daughter of. And my mother was so pleased that she could give this American girl the chance to be whoever she wanted to be. Thanks, Mama. Dikri mari kevi tu, chaun tune kevi hu, apu tune baddaji, rakhu tune petma chapi. Daughter, you're my darling. How dearly I love you. I'll give you everything. I'll keep you close to my body. Del bedel ra dare. from one heart to another, there is a portal. Del be del rah dare. From my heart to yours, there's a portal. Del be del, from my heart to yours. Del be del, from my heart to yours. Del be del rah dare. From my heart to yours, there's a portal.
Thank you, Kehan. So beautiful. Whew. And that's just one part of There Is a Portal. Yes. So everybody take a deep breath. Yeah. And now I have the pleasure to introduce another dear friend, Eric Anjadi. Eric is a father, an artist, a police accountability activist, a racial, social, and environmental justice organizer, spoken word artist, and the founder of La Soul Renaissance, and many other things. And I'm very glad for him to be here. Eric, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be here. Super beautiful. Every event that I've been to that you have put on, the thoughtfulness in it and the inclusion and the vision is something that I wholeheartedly feel connected with. I think abolition is important because it's connected to a lot of the isms and a lot of the things that we're facing, like colonialism. As a Irish and Cape Verdean American, we've dealt with colonization, slavery, and I recently discovered that my ancestry also has Jews that were sent from Portugal to Cape Verde, and that story. So our bloodline, sometimes the fabric that weaves us together is connected. And as Martin Luther King said, the injustices elsewhere are connected to the justices here, or the lack of them. So it's very important to be here. And the first piece I want to share is the first piece of poetry that came to me that speaks to the connections and the weaving of spirituality. Godly specifics, hieroglyphics written upon papyrus. From Solomon, King Tut, Osiris, look within the iris, one eye of Isis, the other's Jesus Christ, epics like Gilgamesh. Me and Noah built the ark the best. Genesis, the start of thought arrival. In the Torah, in the Bible, my soul survival, on and on. Buddha, Muhammad, the Quran, blessed be from Jah. In the sun, I am seeing Ra, son of Zeus and Apollo. Empty truth, it leaves a mind that's hollow. They Old Testament, but forgot the time to follow. From beginning to the end, there's no sinning in the Zen. Taoist origins of I Ching, so Sojourner's truth I sing. Listening to John Coltrane on a slow train with different stops. Reading Alan Watts, Lao Tzu, Hebrew, Hindu, Yaya Diallo, Thomas Paine. These thoughts are hard to swallow till I see the Tai and Chi, my God guiding me to be what I'll always be, the creator of my own reality. I think that that we're all connected to the divine source, and it comes in many different ways. Just like our poems all speak a truth about injustice, but they're all written in a different tongue, a different way. And this piece is about more directly connected to some of the issues that we deal with in terms of the need for abolition. It's called Painting Pain into Poetry. Painting pain into poetry. I pen poems into prose to propose the possibility that we peel back the probability that these pistols will pop. No longer wait while these cops hate. I pray that these prisons will stop. and ponder the perception of punishment versus correction. And the politics it plays in election. You see, police and prisons both offer the perception of protection, yet they're only protecting the property of the properly paid. As the poor people in poverty get played, enslaved to their grave, yet we stayed representing the slave that was brave. So we paved a path on a road less traveled, remembering the souls of those they once sold like cattle. You see, we live on a planet where many men, they take it for granted that many men, they planned it, the transatlantic, some will call it the slave trade. Before the sun fall, some, not small, had their graves made. Deep below the ocean, they were tossed over the float. Ironic, Jesus Christ or Jehovah was the name of the boat that first brought them over in ropes and chains, psychologically broke their brains with division, religion, and this racist prison of pain. 400 years later, much of the vision remains the same. You see, it's ironic how history flips. Enter the modern economic misery trips of the mind state of a slave. Still working late to the grave, hardly content, can't hardly pay rent with dollars and cents, so pennies, they drop in a well. Visit the block where it's hell. Little kids get locked in a box if it's rocks that they sell, yet it's from the cops that they cop the rocks just as well. You see, I see the CIA. So indeed, I pray it'll eventually be evident, the evidence, the modern day presidents were setting up the presidents for a present day genocide. You see, so many women and children have died at the hands of poverty. In a world where the cops, they love the robbery. It gives them occupation. Just like doctors love their patients, you see, this is all planned in architect, just like the Masons, because those with no self-control just lust to control the rest of our population. And the last piece is a piece. I live in New Bedford, Massachusetts, and we've lost far too many lives to police violence, including a 15-year-old child that was shot in the back by New Bedford police on May 17th of 2012, Malcolm Gracia. And this speaks to the need that we have for police accountability. No self-defense and no karate chops can defend when the cop shot he shot. Just ask Fred Hampton Jr. how his pop's heart would stop. See, the cops, they can cap a nickel 9, kill innocent blacks and do not a lick of time, yet they get mad at Kaepernick for not saluting a system that is racist by design. Face it, it's a crime. Police abuse is investigated by police internal affairs all the time. So no wonder Stevie calls the system blind, corrupt and biased. See, since Pontius Pilate, our lives haven't mattered to judges that shattered and denied us, then crucified us. So it's long past due for civilian review committees in every town and city and state with subpoena power to empower and create a check and balance for cases of police abuse and violence. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Wow. Thank you. There's beautiful things getting said here. Bless you. Wow, wow. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Just great. Yeah, so let's take another breath. And now I have the pleasure to introduce you to Anu Yadav, who is a critically acclaimed actress, playwright, educator, and cultural worker dedicated to art and social justice. She is a member of Actors Equity, and the Dramatists Guild, Alternate Roots, Network of Ensemble Theaters, California Poor People's Campaign, which is a national call to moral revival, and was most recently the 2019-2020 Creative Strategist Artist in Residence at the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health. Anu.
Thank you for inviting me here. It is really an honor to be part of this tradition and this event, and with these artists, really a gift. And for me, as a Hindu, my parents are from India, and all of the experiences in my family's life, it underscores the importance of really understanding how our spiritual traditions are very deeply embedded with liberation, and that we need to reclaim our histories, the revolutionary, histories, and of when people came together and transformed society and transformed the world. And to me, abolition is about reclaiming and remembering that freedom and acting on that freedom, about liberation from oppression, the affirming of all life, as Melissa, you shared, and envisioning a future where our institutions center all human rights and dignity. And tonight I'm sharing an excerpt from my solo play, Mina's Dream. And it's about a young working class Indian heritage girl whose mother can't afford the medicine she needs. And her invisible friend is Hindu god Lord Krishna, who is pleading with her, please help me defeat the worry machine, this mysterious force that will end all dreams, all possibility forever. And so she's wrestling with the prospect of her mother's declining health. She's seeing these systems impacting her family. And she's picked on by the school bully, this white girl named Judy, who just sees and picks at what's different about Mina to her. And so Mina's frustration reaches this boiling point in art class, where she's secretly taken her mother's empty medicine bottle as a reminder of what and who matters to her. So we're going to see this excerpt, and I'll say that it was written and performed by me, directed by Patrick Crowley, choreographed by Paige Hernandez, and the music composed and performed by Anjana Swaminathan, Rajna Swaminathan, and Sam McCormally. The film, you'll see, was directed by Q. Taraj Jackson. This is Mina's Dream.
So I start to draw. And I get magic marker and silver paint and gold sparkles. And rainbow and rainbow and rainbow of color. More and more and more and more color. Until it has all the colors of the universe. My mummy's prescription. I peel off the sticker. My mummy needs this medicine. Dose as much as she needs, as long as she needs it. Price free. Thank you for your cooperation. Mina. I keep it with me all day. And then after school, I walk into the pharmacy. Everything is gray in here too. Oh no, there's Judy. Okay, she doesn't see me. Judy walks down the aisle, picks up some diapers, and then she stuffs them in her jacket. She looks straight at me, and then she runs out. She just stole diapers. Can I help you? Yes, I have a prescription. I hold up my prescription with its sparkly gold and silver and all the colors of the universe, and so much color that it shines over everything. This is nice. Look, this is a pharmacy, not art class, so tell your folks to bring in a real prescription, okay? I'm sorry, I can't help you. Okay, well, you know what? I'll just keep it here. The pharmacist turns around to unlock the medicine cabinet. Rows and rows and rows and rows of medicine. Enough medicine for everyone. And she takes a bunch of the medicine and she puts it in a garbage bag. Wait. What are you doing? Just give it to me. No, it's expired. Well, it expires today, but no one's gonna buy it, so. But can't you just give it to me? I mean, aren't you supposed to give people medicine? No, I don't give people medicine, okay? People pay for it. Everything costs money, and that could cost me my job. You know, what if someone got sick? The pharmacist leaves, and Krishna, you know, you keep saying I have power. So what happened? That's not it, Meena. Your power is that you can imagine something different. That's your power. Yeah, well, I imagined something different and nothing changed. So imagining, hoping, believing, it's not enough. So I wait. And I become invisible. And I watch the pharmacist take the trash outside. And she throws it in the can, and then she leaves. I dig in the side of the trash, and I grab the pills. If it expires today, then I still have today. I still have today. And then I hear the pharmacist's voice, "Hey, what are you doing?" And that's when I start to run. I'm running so fast, holding the medicine tight, tight, tight in my fist. My arms pumping. I'm running so fast that the earth starts to shake. I'm running so fast that the ground begins to crumble. I'm running so fast that smoke starts to rise and sparks start to fly. I'm running so fast that I take flight. And my legs stretch out like God across the universe. I'm running so fast that I am flying. And I can almost see the end of the universe. Mommy, I'm home.
Anu. Thank you. Thank you. So beautiful. Well, we've had two pieces about our relationship with Mother. Ooh, so important. Our relationship with each other. And now we're going to bring back Sarah and stay on because there's one more piece after Sarah that I don't want you to miss.
All right. Thank you, everyone. This has been so inspiring tonight. I have one more poem for you all that is specifically for this event, and it is titled "Resolutions Never Get to the Point." Whereas we share a father, whereas you're the oldest of his sons and we're the youngest, guardians of holy lineage, whereas you were chosen to shine and we were guided to the light, whereas we share a land despite a time difference, whereas if it were a toy, a mother would say, take turns, whereas it isn't, whereas involving God constitutes a conflict of interest, whereas exile taints both of our last names, whereas the ultimate return is to a mother's womb, whereas an Independence Day for some is a massacre for others, whereas my mother is part mine and part yours, a transgression of blood borders. Whereas I started writing this on your day of atonement and in the spirit of forgiveness, and now deliver it on the second night of your festival of light. Therefore, let it be known that we have tried. Let it be known that we recognize one another from 1,000 miles. Let it be known that interventions are deaf to this language of loss. Let it be known that treaty, accord, agreement are all currency for silence. Let it be known that protests aren't for sale. Let it be known that peace concerned with order is void, and peace concerned with justice is rarely served, an empty side dish. Let it be known that we're human as you are, that you're human as we are, that we're not against each other, we're against the shield between us, a system so transparent. Let it be known that resolutions never get to the point, that by now my speaking time is over. Thank you.
Sarah. So beautiful, so powerful. Take one more breath, everyone. I have really, really deep honor and pleasure of introducing my dear friend, Mar Padilla. Is an Afro-Taino Puerto Rican dancer, choreographer, the artistic director of Danza Orgánica, We Create Festival, Dance for Social Justice, Dance Research Online Forum. Mara is honored to continue the path towards decolonization of false narratives. And she actually sent me other words that she asked me to say, and I'm going to let her just do her beautiful work. Mar.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Buenas noches. My name is Mar Parrilla. I am honored, deeply honored to be here, and these performances have been incredible. So thank you to all of the performers as well. All my work is anti-racist and focused on decolonization. And when Melissa invited me to participate in this evening, the programming, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, what I wanted to show, guided by the person whose story you're going to hear in the short film. I am focused on prison abolition, which for me is the dismantling of an oppressive system created by the state, and which serves today as an extension of slavery. I ask that when you watch the video to please read the credits at the beginning and read the credits at the end, which in reality are part of the video, part of the story. Thank you so much.
What has your experience been with the prison industrial complex?
First of all, entering in there, it was like humiliating, shame, guilt. Anger. Why me? Is this ever going to end? And once you get in there, there's some women in there, guards that try to help you, and there's some men that try to help you, but most of all, they demean you because of your character. They seem that you're belittled. They try to belittle you a lot. And for me, myself, like entering in there over probably 30 times in and out, it was very degrading. But at the same time, I thought that was all I had, 3 meals in a cart. But one thing I missed through all the years that I got this time is that I don't have to stay stuck like that. You know, I don't have to listen to somebody tell me to lock in. Or being transported shackled up, you know, feeling like an animal. I don't have to feel that embarrassment no more. And I think like after my last time in there, I did 3 years. I was looking to move forward to more things. I stopped lying to myself, first of all. I stopped telling myself I'm not worth nothing, I don't know how to do nothing. Because being in there, I didn't have no means of support or anything, but yet I still had a box full of food. You know, I had clothes. I supported a lot of women on telling them how to do different things on the outside, and I'm like, why am I giving everybody information and I'm not taking it for myself? So I started applying all them things to myself this time around, and I started asking for help instead of denying them and saying everybody's out to get me, you know, there's not going to be no change in me. And asking for help, it was humbling, especially when people always looked at you like, you kind of feel stupid in there, you know, because of the things you've done, you know, and I didn't think about ways I'm going to get money out here. I thought about ways I'm going to get an education out here. And that's when you come to the re-entry part. You know, coming out to society, I struggled again, you know, because when I walked out, I had $25 to my name.
Did they guide you in any way? Like, how is that process? What did they say to you once you leave?
Once you leave, they try to give you a re-entry plan, but some of those re-entry plans, it guides you to go like to A, B, C, and D, but when you walk out them doors and you feel that sense of freedom, it's overwhelming, and when you look at the world, it's like everything starts moving so fast, and you get caught up seeing a certain person, then you get caught up in the old stuff again, you know, because you're not able to, like if I came here to get a job, and they told me I gotta wait like 3 weeks. What am I gonna do for 3 weeks? I ain't got no place to stay, no food, no money. So within those 3 weeks, I still try and look and everything, but it seems like they direct you to the same place where everybody else is. And if you start clinging on to the wrong environment, you get stuck in it, you get caught up. So I kind of went a different route this time, and I kind of went towards like getting better education. Like instead of staying stuck in employment places where I can get a job or this stuff, I said, you know what? I got my high school diploma. Why don't I try and do something normal people do? I don't have to be like a re-entry prisoner no more. I don't have to be prison to just one way of life. Like it seems like they put you in this environment and kind of everybody stays stuck instead of saying you can do this. This is bigger and better. You know, I didn't want to just get a job. I want to do something, be professional at what I'm doing. When you come out of jail and you finally accomplish something, you want to show other people that they can do it. You know, through that, I spread information. I give every woman around the same information I got. You know, you can do it this way, or you can do that this way, or, you know, I try and direct people in a better way. And it wasn't worth it. Not one bit of it was worth it. Because now, like I said, I sit here with 35 cents in my pocket after 35 years, in and out of prison. There's a lot of beautiful women with beautiful minds, and they're intelligent. I got a lot of information out of people, just like Andrea James that I met. Like, those are the kind of women like I used to latch to, like older women, more knowledge, instead of running to relate, because I'm gay, so I ran to relationships in jail to cover up my hurt, my pain for being locked up away from everything. Knowing I could do all these things, but not trusting that I can accomplish it, and fear of success too. Like, and sometimes I want to talk to young men and let them know what they kind of involving themselves in. You say you love your mother, your sister, your aunt, your grandmother. Why are you doing this to women? Like, I'm one of them. I try to let people know, like, we hurt, even though we're doing things to ourselves, we're hurting everybody around us in our life. Everything that I did, I punished my kids, my mother, my uncle, everybody, like they were ashamed of me. They wanted to give up on me because every time I got their trust, I'd do something to screw it up, But the whole thing is just, you just gotta be patient. You gotta sit still. Prayer is a big thing for me. Prayer is definitely a big thing. Every morning I get up and thank God, and I trust today. I really do. There's just so much you can get like out of everything that I went through, like all my journeys, like the people I met. I take a part of them everywhere I go. Like every single person that I've met in the past 30 years, they showed me something different. Don't put yourself back to where you don't want to be, because you'll become that part of the environment again. Only thing you can do is stay and trust people that are going to guide you the right way, and pass it on to another sister, Show them that we're all here together. But I think life can be fun today, There's a time to play and there's a time to work, and I get that, But I know every day is like a job. Like, you really got to put your armor on, and you just got to break boundaries, because you got a shield. Everybody's got a shield, and you got to understand how to use it. My way of using it is giving kindness back, and accepting that some people just aren't where I'm at. Accepting some people are angry, and assume things that they don't even know. And that's where I go with my addiction, like people down Dudley. I just walk through, keep my eye on the prize, get on the bus, get off the bus, see you later, I just gotta keep going the right direction, Sometimes you gotta make turns or go around things. You can't always walk straight through either, because you can't go straight through, because you're gonna hit a wall somewhere. So you gotta learn how to bend the turns and stuff, That's just how I get through days, I really do.
Thank you so much for that work. Thank you everyone for being here. Kehan's assistant is with us as well. And if you'd like to unmute, please do. This is a moment that we can be together. It is 9 o'clock. I do want to respect everybody's time. But I know it's a hard moment to leave each other, just like that. I'll read some of the things in the chat. It has sparked a real and deep conversation in our house. Fabulous job to all the performers, and Melissa, what a great event. Thank you, thank you. And I say thank you. And yes, snaps and applause and gratitude to these performers who are really, really Kehan, how is it? From my heart to your heart. To unmute. Cannot unmute. Elena, can you unmute us? Yeah. Has to unmute. That's why she didn't unmute.
She's gotta go.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting mommy be here. Yeah.
Okay. See you.
And thank you to our people behind the Elena and Lena and Esther. Thank you all for making this go so smoothly. I understand that I put the wrong link in the Facebook, but you got here. Whoever got here had to be here, and this is recorded. And I also think there's more to come. Please join us tomorrow if you are interested in knowing more about this tradition, the Torah of abolition. 2 rabbis are going to be speaking about the teachings. You can go to jvp.org and get all the links, or hit me up. You know how to reach me. Here's my Melissa at jvp.org. There's, oops, that went to Sarah. Well, you all heard that. There are some other fantastic events coming right up Monday night. Elena, you want to tell us about it?
Sure. Monday night, well, Ari is here actually and could tell us about Sunday night.
And that comes before, yeah, Sunday night, Ari.
It happens, right? Sunday kind of.
Yes.
Sometimes. First of all, wow. I cannot believe how beautiful and powerful all of this was. Thank you so much to everybody. And Melissa, thank you so much for putting this together. On Sunday, the by JOCSN network, which is Black Jews, Indigenous Jews, non-Black Jews of color, Sephardi and Mizrahi Jews, we're having an open mic, and it's gonna be a really fun event. If you all wanna join us, please come. We will love to have you there. It will be Jews of color and people of color and Palestinian performing, and it's just gonna be beautiful. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you. And Monday night.
And Monday night we have a a wild, raucous, flirty, and funny Hanukkah party benefiting the work of the amazing Palestinian organization Adala Justice Project, seeking to raise $10,000 for them, and it'll be full of comedy, burlesque, surprise guests, and more. So please join us if you can.
And then following that, on Tuesday, which is the 15th, there is going to be a panel that apparently there's almost 2,000 people already registered for, featuring Rashida Tlaib, Mark Lamont Hill, and really addressing what is real and how do we really dismantle anti-Semitism. And it is not with the new definition that is coming from the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, IHRA. So that's on Tuesday night. Thursday night, the woman who was, the film was dedicated to one of the women, Andrea James. She's the founder of Families for Justice's Healing. Their organization is going to have all the evening. So we're focusing on prison abolition, that this is an international struggle. So it very aligned with our struggle for supporting Palestinians in their struggle. We're also supporting people in the struggle against the prison industrial complex and what all abolition means. And the last night of Hanukkah is a Deadly Exchange action night. So if you don't know about the Deadly Exchange, come to it. If you do know about it, come to it. Where the Deadly Exchange refers to training cops, American cops in Israel by Israeli military and police, and funded by the ADL and JIMSA. So we are, we've got a whole lineup, and I hope you'll come back and work with us. And there's a lot of room for everyone. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa, and all the artists.
Yeah.
And the audience for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ma, Anu. Kehan has left. Sarah, thank you for coming back once again. And Eric, once again, this is his 4th event with us. Now that we have you all, we'll never let you go. Have a good evening, everyone.
Bye.
Peace, everyone.
Peace.
Thank you. So wonderful.